Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So I want to talk about like the editing process of this video before anything else because it is so super fresh still. Like, y'all might find it stupid or funny or potentially helpful if you also edit videos, but anyway, I had about 26 video clips that I recorded with my camera, and that added up to about 7 hours worth of footage that I had to edit for this video. And it took me like 2 days, and my video editor kept crashing. Like every few minutes that sucker would crash. I must have been crashed on like 30-40 times or whatever. It was driving me crazy. Like I couldn't do anything without the whole thing shutting down, you know? And like I had done upgraded my Cyberlink to the newest model or whatever, and that didn't work. I had to uninstall it and reinstall it like 3 different times. Nothing was like working. Troubleshooting, you know, it kept telling me on the internet to like turn my computer off or restart my computer every time it crashed, because if you don't, then like it's just gonna make the crash worse or something. I don't know. So eventually I get a hold of my buddy Dalton and I'm like, bro, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And you know, so he's trying to help me and stuff, and eventually we came to the conclusion that like my editor just can't handle all of me, man. That was just way too many video clips, and like they were way too long, and it was just overworking the software, you know? And so the solution was, and this worked beautifully, to edit a certain number of clips first, render it or process it, save it, you know, and then edit another bunch of clips, render or process those, save it, and then once everything's done, pull them in to be edited together with my voiceover, and then render or process that for the final product. Y'all, it worked. So I only have had maybe 2 or 3 crashes this time rather than just back to back to back ones. And I just feel like I was losing my sanity there for a minute. And I'm really grateful to my friend for helping me out. You know, sometimes you just gotta talk things through, you know, and then eureka, brilliant idea, you know, pops up. But yeah, so if anyone out there has ever run into this exact same issue, but you couldn't figure out a solution, try this instead. Maybe it'll help you out, okay? So yeah, for anyone who is just now popping in and they don't know what the heck is going on, let me explain. My coworker and I, we decided to do our very own local art collab, and we were inspired by 1000's art collab on YouTube. You know, I was showing her the video, she thought they were really great, and we were like, hey, we should totally do that. And I'm like really nervous, okay? I don't know if anyone's gonna actually be interested in doing the collab. My biggest fear, number one, being nobody wants to participate, and we've already come up with like house ads. Like the collab is being sponsored by my work, which is the Paris News, and they're letting us run house ads in the paper and the magazine. The ads have like a little form at the bottom that potential artists could fill out, turn in, and then we will just draw them at random. That's one fear. And then the other fear is, what if an artist gets a hold of this board and they don't want to give it back? Because that would freaking suck, you know? Because then, like, what do? You know, you can't force them to give it back. I mean, would we have to call the cops? Would we have to be like, look, they stole our painting? You know what I mean? How silly. But yeah, like there's gonna be rules. They're gonna have to sign like a little form, it's gonna be like a consent to use their art / release form / like I understand the terms and conditions of this project and I will abide by them kind of a form, you know? And the rules are like super simple. The artist will have to come pick up the board. We will take a before picture, and when they drop it off, when they're done, we'll take an after picture. We'll post it on social media and tag their social media platform, you know, whatever they like to post their art on, gets them some exposure. And we're just gonna keep painting it until the board is full up. They'll have up to 3 weeks to contribute, you know, get their painting done, which I think is plenty of time. It took me 5 days to do my painting, but it took the entire 3-week period because, you know, when you're working and you got kids and this, that, and the other, you know, some things fall on the wayside. So we thought that 3 weeks was plenty of time to get your stuff in order, you know. And all in all, it took me about 20 hours across a 5-day span. 16 of those hours were 2 days in a row, though. So I just kind of was like powering through on Christmas and the day after Christmas to get this thing finished so that I could bring it back up to work. And then, once it's all said and done, we are going to donate it to a local charity. It'll be auctioned off, and whatever it sells for, that money will be going towards the charity we donated it to. And that's really exciting. So not only is this project meant to bring local artists in the community closer together, potentially maybe get them some work, you know, if they're freelancers, or some followers, or perhaps new friendships, but also it's meant to, you know, do a good deed and help out people in need, you know. So that's like really exciting. And I'm really proud of myself. Like a lot of times I'm like an ideas person. I'll sit down and I'll talk about things that I feel could make something better, but I don't ever like put it to action, you know? So this feels like a momentous thing for me. When Chrissy said we should do it, I was like, yeah, we should totally do it. Haha. But then she was like, no, for real, we should do it. And I was like, oh. And she's like, well, what's stopping us? You know what I mean? And I'm like, all right, bet, let's go. I call your bluff. So we're doing it. Here we go. I got in contact with Lena Spencer. She is part of the Paris Art Alliance. She's really excited about the project, and she said that she would help get the word out. So hopefully we can get some people to, you know, participate. And yeah, that's kind of like where we're at with it at the moment. We'll start picking candidates on the 14th of January. We just want to give people a couple of weeks to fill out the forms. And also, hopefully, it'll be good for the Paris News as well, because that'll get more traction on our Facebook page, which, you know, it's got its ups and downs, but it's mostly just kind of boring and dead. So hopefully having these photos of locals and their artwork will get people wanting to come visit the Facebook page, put some likes on the post, and when the piece is completed, we're also going to be doing like interviews with people about their art process and stuff. They can submit the pictures they took as they painted, and I'm hoping we can all get together for a group photo, because I would love for the group picture to be on the cover of the magazine, and we're gonna do a massive article in the magazine covering this entire process when it's done. So I'm hoping that like we can, you know, successfully achieve that goal. And, you know, that just means hopefully for the business, more sales on the magazine, and maybe more potential ad buyers, you know, just things like that. So it's very marketable, and it's just good for everyone all the way around, I think. So yeah, that was kind of the idea. And so anyway, I decided to draw a Salvador Dali slash Disney's Fantasia mesh up piece. So when I was sketching out all my ideas on my live stream, my very first idea was like a long-legged centaur lady. The very first thought in my head was like that long-legged bed from like the movie Little Nemo, and that just kind of transpired into, you know, this. And I did like look up a couple of paintings from Salvador Dali to use as a reference for like, you know, how should I do the legs and stuff. And originally I was going to go more simple, but that turned into more of a muscular structure because that was kind of like the way he did like his horses and his elephants and stuff. They were more muscular and bony. I did want to still keep a little bit of fluidity in there, you know, too. And that was a really interesting piece to paint. You know, just the legs alone were interesting for me because, you know, I'm not good at doing muscles and stuff, and I don't normally do that kind of stuff. So it was kind of a challenge, and it was new and it was different. And then the top half, the lady, she was inspired by Disney's Fantasia's centaurs, and they're very, you know, lovely, and they're also kind of simple. I wanted to, you know, make her hair kind of cloudy, you know, bubbly, and I used the blue centaur lady as my reference for the face. I did make some changes to make it my own. But I love yellow. That's my favorite color. So I wanted her skin to be like a gold. And I also love pink. So I chose like a pinky orange for the horse part. And there's like this like very baby yellow for her hair. And Chrissy did these cute little hair wisps on her character, and I love those, so I wanted to add them to my character as well. And that's like the fun thing about a collab. It's not only just doing your own piece, but also trying to make it a cohesive piece at the same time. So I feel like I did that, you know. There are some similarities, but there's some also like major differences like between our art styles. They're very different. And also like the way, just not just like our art styles, but like the way we painted our own pieces, like that is also kind of different. They're contrasting, but they mesh well together. Hers is like very mellow, and it kind of reminds me of like the moon, where mine is like stretching in the morning sun. It feels very bright, and I like that about it. And then I decided to do like bushes surrounding the edge of her painting and the edge of my painting, so the sky turns into this bush. I didn't really like that it was all like a blob of green and blue, so I added these like lime green leaves, which I felt was a good idea because I was able to transition her clouds into the leaves in some of the parts. And also having a nice blocky area like that as a background allows for the next artist to either paint behind or over it with whatever they want to paint. So that's good. You know, it leans into the imagination and just kind of like the sky's the limit on this thing, you know. I'm very excited to see what others do with their part. Oh my gosh, like I cannot wait to see this thing when it's finished. And I worked really hard on my part of it. I wanted to give it 110%. I didn't want people to think that I was being lazy, you know. I wanted to show people that like I really tried, and I wanted it to look good, because like the better the artwork looks as a whole, potentially the more money we could end up raising. Someone might really end up loving this painting like so much they might want to keep bidding to win it, you know, which just means more money getting donated to charity in the end. So that's great, and that person's happy because they're going to end up with it in their home or in their office or at their clinic or whatever, you know. And yeah, we got some like business owners in town that show up to all of these auctions. You know, every year they show up and they like to bid on stuff. And I've been to a couple of these events. They're really fun. But yeah, like you'll see like CEOs and family-owned business owners and stuff like show up, and they got lots of money to be dishing out. So we'll see what happens with this thing, but I can guarantee you, whatever charity we end up donating it to, your girl's gonna be there. I'm gonna be there, like potentially maybe even filming it, because I'm like really excited. I might post it on my YouTube or something, like like the auction itself. I don't know, but anyway, whatever. Anyways, so yeah, like, I hope you guys are enjoying the video so far. I've got it edited down to about almost 20 minutes. So I've got a couple of more minutes where I can like chit chat. Oh my gosh, I have to tell you what freaking happened. Okay, so I did not record the part where I was drawing the hairs, the little fine hairs, or the part where I painted the flower bralette thing, because my freaking camera fell into my paint, and I'm so sad about it. Okay, so my best friends, they bought me this little camera a couple years ago, and it's not the best camera, it's a cheapy little starter camera, but it's my camera and it was a present. And I've never once in the 2 years of owning this thing dropped it or mishandled it in any kind of way, so I was incredibly upset when it tipped over. The tripod on it isn't like the best. One of the legs like very easily collapses. And I should have been maybe more paying more attention to it, but I had made it nearly to the end before tragedy struck, and that sucker tipped over and it landed in my paint, and y'all was crying like a baby. I was like, what the fuck? And I was like yelling, and then I was kind of sobbing over my paint covered camera. And then my husband, he ran in and he was like trying to save the day, right? He grabbed my camera and he was trying to clean it up, and he pulled the battery out and he pulled the memory card out, and he was trying to wash the paint off, and he put it in a bag of rice. And then like 2 days later, he's checking on it and he was telling me, he goes, yeah baby, he said your camera's trash. And I was like, I'm sorry. And he's like, no, I'm sorry. He's like, I tried to help. And I was like, thanks for trying. It's gone though. So and I was talking about maybe getting myself a nicer camera, but I didn't realize it was going to be so soon. So, and by soon, I mean like my camera getting messed up, and by soon, I mean I don't know when I'm going to get another camera, but eventually I will have to. I'm just going to be doing just more digital art on the channel for right now, or if I record traditionally, I'll just use my phone like I used to always do, you know. So yeah. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming to my channel and hanging out with me. And I really appreciate all of you. And I hope you guys have a great day. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.